Welcome back to our second edition of Community Tapestry, and if you're just joining us by chance, I'm Napoleon Bell, I'm the Executive Director with the City of Columbus, and we've got Toni Teague, the infamous co-host, right next to me, as always, and we're on our second segment. Infamous. Or famous, infamous. We're on our second segment, and we've got some great guests with us today.
Yeah. We've got Veterans Day coming up.
Veterans Day is right around the corner. I believe it's coming up this week, and so the topic is veterans.
Yeah.
And how we can assist them and serve them, but also, what their needs are. So we want to talk about that with our two guests that we have here.
That's right. And if we have any callers that happen to be veterans or know some veterans and love some veterans the way I do, and just want to send a shout out to my mom who is a Marine.
Okay.
Our phone number is 645-6557.
Right, 645-6557, and also Nap Bell. So if you want to Facebook us, go to Nap Bell, that's Napbell, and you can do it that way also. So let's start off with introducing our guests. We have on our left, Miss Daphne Hawk. She's the Franklin County Recorder. Did I get that correct?
That's correct.
All right, you ought to tell us more about what a Franklin County Recorder is also, because sometimes, you hear something and you're just not sure. So
yeah, you're like, what does that office actually do?
Exactly.
Yeah. You know it does something, you're not sure what.
Right. And then next to her, we have Rick Isbell. He's the City of Columbus Veterans Affairs Coordinator and ADA Coordinator.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Thank you for both of you for being on the program.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Daphne, what exactly does the Franklin County Recorder do? What does that job entail?
The county recorder is the person or the office that takes care of all of the land records for Franklin County. So it's really interesting because we have a lot of genealogists who come to our office, a lot of historians that come to our office, but the people that utilize our office the most are title searchers. So when you buy a home, that title insurance policy that you receive, all of that research has been done in our office to make sure that you have clear title to your property when you purchase it.
Wow, okay, so then how does that relate to veterans?
Very good question. Several years ago, Joe Testa was our county recorder, and way back then, he instituted the concept of recording DD-214s to Franklin County, and it's something that has been suggested by the military for many years, that discharge veterans go ahead and record their DD-214s or their military discharge papers with their county recorder in the county that they reside, in case they should not be able to locate those items for later use. In most cases, it would be to receive military benefits, and military discounts are huge right now, especially with a lot of returning and active military coming home. And there are a lot of restaurants and stores that offer military discounts. And so we record that document for safekeeping for later purposes, but also we give them a billfold card to put in their wallet to carry with them to prove their service to our country.
Yeah, and goodness knows we hope they actually need no proof, but it's great to know that your office helps to facilitate that.
Right.
So Rick, tell us, what does your office do through the city?
I consider myself the conduit to getting people to where they need to be. I've been working with veterans for over 12 years now. I worked with the state before I came to the city. And what I've done in my travels and traverses is I've built up a good number of people that I've worked with. And so when I do get a phone call at our office, and there's quite a few, I average at least 20 calls a day of people not knowing where to go. Well, I need my benefits, I need medicine, I need this. And so when I get the phone call, I can usually say, here's the person you need to go to, here's the number you need to call, and the person to talk to. So they feel like, hey, I made a connection, but I never let the door close behind them. As a disabled veteran, I remember going to people's offices and they said, flat out, that's not my job. And they kind of left me to fish for myself. So I never want someone to feel like I'm closing that door on them. You can always call me back and say, hey, it didn't work out, or this person didn't give me enough information. Then we try for another route, because there's always a ton of information out there. And I want people to think about this as when you come home, you kind of feel like you've been dumped into a large lake. And you're treading water, and you see a whole bunch of little boats, here, 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 and here. So you swim to the first one, and you ask for help, and they say, well, that's not my job, swim to that next boat. So you got to swim to that next boat. By the time you're done, you don't want to tread water anymore. Especially as a disabled vet, some people quit. They don't want to go back. But you got to persevere. So I try to be the person that says, well, here's the place you need to be, but it's always the door is open.
Well, what do you see, though, as, you know, the most significant or the thing that keeps coming back up that a vet needs? What is there? I mean, if there is a single most need, what is the one that you see the most?
There's not a single most need. There are so many varied needs.
What are some of those needs?
A lot of the needs that I do get, though, is I need my benefits. I need my DD-214, which I will always point them over to Daphne's office, because that is a great way to do things. And just returning vets, I always say, bring your DD-214 over there, because you will need it someday. Even if you're not feeling like you're a disabled person, you will need this someday to get a house, to get your veterans benefits, to prove you're a vet for certain benefits that are out there, is for different department stores will give you a benefit. So it's always good to have these things and have a backup, because there's going to be floods, fires, divorces. These are some of the things I get. Well, I got a divorce. My wife threw everything out. I can't find my DD-214. I've heard it. So I will urge you all to please do so, to put it in there, because one day you will need it, and you'll need it quick. And they do help out in doing that.
And I was remembering our conversation. Oh, it looks like we've got a call. So before I go to that question, let's go to our call. Caller,
are you there?
Go ahead with your question.
Well, I have a question. My name is John Logan. I'm a member, first of all, of the Franklin County Atom Board, and I'm also on the Council of the Suicide Prevention Foundation. And I was just saying, Rick is right on point. We need more people like Rick, because he knows exactly what's going on as far as the veteran goes, as far as the needs, the different stigmas, that's involved. When they come from out, for what we call in country. Excuse me. And he is exactly right. And with the proclamation by the president just a little while back, we're going to have a monster influx of veterans coming, at the end of the year, at the beginning of next year coming. And we're going to need more individuals like that to deal with it, because the stigma involved with vets, it's hard to bring them to the table. They just don't want to deal with different things about, how long does it take? Well, it takes 6 months to get an appointment. He said, well, I have suicidal tendencies. Excuse me, he has suicidal tendencies, but they said, well, we can't get you in 6 months. So those kind of things we have to work out, moving forward.
Well, thank you for your comment, caller.
And what you're saying is an ease of transition. When a veteran or a military person's coming home, we on the ground, the boots on the ground, the people that are helping them, we don't always know they're coming back. Even the most disabled person, they're not telling us. And so like our Franklin County Veteran Service officers, they should know these people are coming to town. Our VA, they should know they're coming to town. So if we had ease of service so that we know, hey, Sergeant so-and-so is coming back, he's lost a leg, here's what we can do to help him, so we're prepared on the other end. And it doesn't have to be something as severe as that. It could be, okay, this person served in Afghanistan, he's coming home. It'd be nice to know, and so we have a sharing of information that, hey, we're here to help you out in case you do have a need. And on the other side of it, they know that we're here to help them.
So how do you get the word out? And I think, part of that might even come from your office, Daphne, because you've done some really amazing things in terms of communication, but even with the work that you've done, tell us about how you're getting the word out and what still needs to get done in order to bridge the gaps on those services.
Well, I think for my office, what we have tried to do is make our website more user-friendly and to focus more on the veterans' benefits and some of the services that we provide. At least we don't actually provide a lot of those services, but we try to make the links available so that they know what is available to them. And so we have several links that we share with Rick and with some other agencies, and we have those available on our website. And of course, tomorrow at the parade, we're going to be passing out these left and right to people, encouraging them to come and record their DD-214s here at City Hall during the parade, before, during, and after. And so we're trying to get the word out that way as well.
And, go ahead.
Just a thought with communication. Is there something that communication that happens prior to them coming back? I mean, do they go through maybe a series of, okay, we're going to be released, to come back home on such and such a day. Now let's start looking at the services that are available in your home city. Does that happen, or I see a smile.
I can answer your question on several different levels. Yes and no. Depending on what branch of the service, depending on what level of military you're in. If you are full-time service, there is an OTAP, which is a transitional assistance program, where you have to sit through, and before you get off base, that's the check mark you got to do. Now, if you're a reservist, a lot of times you come back, you go through your out processing, you may see a doctor. Most of the time you do, but it'll be a quickie. And then they're released because there's no centralized part of being a reservist. They are thrown back to their states. So you may be sent out with a group in Georgia. So there's no real person to go back to in 30, 60, 90 days to say, I'm having problems, these are problems that kind of just set you loose, and you don't have the support. Now our National Guard, they do a great job, especially here in the state of Ohio. We're, I would say, one of the best in the nation in trying to reach out and help with family readiness. General Ashenhurst has stepped up. Our prior generals, everybody has done a great job of trying to reach out and be what they call purple, which is reaching out to all branches of the military. So you can have some family readiness. Your families can call in, and they broke the state up into 6 different areas. So you may be drilling in Whitehall, but you live in Toledo. So there's a family readiness group up in Toledo. They can help your family. So while you're in Afghanistan, you don't have to worry about what's going on back in your suburban home. They're trying to take care of that. And so they're bringing all those services together so you don't have to recreate the wheel. We don't have to have a group saying, hey, let's get socks for soldiers. Well, the soldiers may already have those socks. Let's think about what their family may need.
Good point.
Wow. Daphne, tell us a bit more about, tell us a bit more about the website and some of the other services, because you've got some things for veterans and others.
We do some other things that surprise some people, and one of those services is to record healthcare powers of attorney and living wills. And many people these days, as I go out and I speak to senior groups and different civic groups, many people in the audience will say, yes, I have a living will, yes, I have a healthcare power of attorney, which is great because the word has gotten out that this is a very important thing to do. But one of the things that we find is that many times those documents are not recorded. So why is that important? Well, if something were to happen to you and your family members were either, number one, unaware of that document or don't know where to find it, then it doesn't do you any good to have it. So what we do is we record those documents in our office. And again, those are not a public document when they're filed, but we record those at our office, and we give you a small billfold card to carry in your billfold, and so that the doctors can see that you do have a living will or a healthcare power of attorney, and where they can call and to get that information. And we release that only to medical staff through either an email or a fax, so we can document where the request is coming from. And once we receive that, we release it to them so that they can know what your wishes are when you are unable to speak for yourself.
And this is a service that's offered, and you can go right on the website. And what's your website? Correct. What's your web address, please?
It's franklincountyohio.gov/recorder.
Excellent. Well, I understand we have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there with your question or your comment?
I am.
Go ahead, sir.
My question is, I currently am a disabled veteran, and I also know of some other people that are homeless veterans. If you look at the community as a whole through the variety of resources that are available, there are the consistent ones, such as the Veterans Service Commission, that may assist for maybe some sort of emergency funds for certain needs, but they require quite a lot of paperwork. My question would be, besides the HUD-BASH program that's currently offered through the VA for homeless people, are there any resources out there in the community that might help for emergency needs for someone trying to prevent being homeless? Like, for instance, they may be going through medical issues through their disability that they received through the VA, but is there anything out there, resources that someone can tap into without all the paperwork?
There's a few.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, caller. There's a few organizations out there that will help in situations sort of, for lack of a better term, falling through the cracks, where you don't quite fit into certain sections. There's Operation Homefront. I know that American Legion has some outreach programs. The VFW has some really good programs that, as of lately, have been stepping up and helping people in need. My suggestion is to find a contact with the VFW or American Legion that usually in the 12th District, American Legion here locally in Franklin County, and then with your VFW, they have a gifts. I can't remember the term off the top of my head, but what I will do for you, caller, is I will give you my phone number, and by all means, give me a phone call, and we'll try to find the right place for you or the right help for those other veterans that are homeless and disabled. My phone number is 645-6504.
Excellent, excellent. And you've done so many things out there between both agencies, but we've also heard about. Tell us about the, you have the operation with a stand down. I think you have something coming up also. Some of these events that are put in place to assist not just one person but several veterans.
Every year, we on the third Tuesday of every October, we do the Central Ohio Homeless Veterans Stand Down, which is a hand up instead of a handout. And more or less, what we do with this is we bring in everybody to one place. It's kind of a one-stop shop for homeless vets. And so we're getting it down to a really good working group. We have all volunteers that head up this Central Ohio Homeless Stand Down. And we had 214 people of all walks of life that volunteered to help at this event. Yeah. We had an outstanding number of outreach from civic, military veterans that came there to give of their abilities. Haircuts, winter clothing, legal aid. The Legal Aid Society comes there and helps with expungements and other legal problems. There's a hot lunch served. We have local services and agencies, medical screenings, everything from eyes to feet. So it's all there to help out. Some people, this is the only time they get shots. So once a year, we're there to help. There's personal grooming kits, and then job search assistance was there this year as well.
And this is once a year, but you're there year-round to continue helping connect persons with the resources.
Right. If I had a wish list, that we would be able to do it year-round. I think there should be more of an outreach for our homeless veterans because not everybody steps forward and says they are a homeless vet. We just now we've just now got agencies start asking the questions. Are you a veteran? Did you serve in the military? Which more times you'll get that answer by saying, did you serve in the military, than say, are you a vet? Because first thought when you say vet, World War II veteran. I'm not that guy. I'm not that gal. So you say, did you serve in the military? Then you'll get a better answer. What we try to do is get them, a lot of steps have happened. If you heard lately, there's a brand new 50-bedroom accessible place for veterans, 50 rooms that have all been, the Franklin County Veterans Services helped furnish those. The National Church Residencies, they were the ones that made it happen and brought all like Huntington and all these different people together to bring the money to build these. And there's room to build another section. So there's steps in the right direction. We still don't have a homeless veterans shelter. They don't want to go that direction in the shelter board. And I'll stand by what they want to say, but I feel it would be a good thing if I had my wish list. There would be a homeless veterans shelter because being served by people with boots on the ground, you can help people get back on their feet.
Yeah, I totally agree, and we can't do enough for them, and great things that you're doing. But I also understand we have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there with your question or your comment?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, caller.
My question was, I had an attorney do my living will for me, and I'm not sure if that was actually recorded because I don't have one of those little wallet billfold cards.
Okay, thank you for
your... find out?
Thank you, caller.
Great. Thank you.
That's a very good question. The person in question can call our office and give their name, and we can tell them whether yes or no. They do have that document recorded. And if they do not, they can go back to their attorney and ask them to file it for them, or they can simply bring the document to our office and file it themselves in person. And we take that document, scan it, and return it directly back to them right then and there, so they don't have to worry about it, leaving their possession and getting misplaced.
Now, I don't know if we know where your office is.
Very good question. We are in the Franklin County Courthouse at 373 South High, and we are on the 18th floor. And we also receive documents through the mail. If someone is not able to come in, we will receive them through the mail and then return them by U.S. mail as well.
Okay. So you're in the old building, not the new building on
Correct.
Main Street. Okay.
Excellent. Well, I've also got to mention, when we talk about Facebook, and we did have not a question come in, we had a picture come in. Gabe Spiegel sent a picture, of the show. So Gabe, thanks for watching, and saying you guys are doing a great job here, with what you're doing. But on more of a toward the veterans note again, I understand that is there something coming up that we need to get the word out about a program?
Coming up for both of your offices, right?
Yeah, we've got the parades tomorrow.
Okay.
The Veterans Day Parade. And what we do at the Veterans Day Parade is it's free to everybody, including the people in the parade. It's going to be 2 hours of rolling stock and military marching and veterans groups and everybody come on out and enjoy this. We've got school children coming, teachers. I've had 4 different teachers say they're going to bring their entire class of 5th graders and 3rd graders to see this patriotic salute to our men and women in uniform. And ladies and gentlemen, it's done on the 10th, and a lot of people have a heartburn with that. So why don't you do it on Veterans Day? Well, here's the reason. Downtown Columbus, on Veterans Day, your state workers, your federal workers, your county workers will not be downtown.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a built-in audience by doing it the day before. If we do it on Veterans Day, we will pull away from the suburbs, all the veterans groups and people that support veterans. So we're kind of helping everybody out this way. By doing it a day early or the week before, whenever we decide to do it, we're still celebrating the veterans. We're still getting the word out, and we're still being patriotic. And in the same time, we're helping out the people in where they live, because those veterans groups in Hilliard and suburban areas, they have their own Veterans Days to do. Right. So instead of pulling away from there, we're kind of helping out.
Right.
Yeah, you're adding to it.
Right.
Which branch of the military did you serve? You said
I was in the Air Force. I served 6 years, 3 months, and 16 days.
Got it down exactly.
And
then it's also the Marines' birthday, isn't it?
Yeah, the Marines' birthday is on the 10th. 236th, I do believe. The mighty Devil Dogs will be having their birthday that day, and you can't do anything without the Marines.
Semper Fi, yay, Mom!
And you said you had something coming?
Yes, we will be out and about, passing out these cards, getting people to come to City Hall tomorrow. And we will have a mobile station set up here in City Hall with a laminator so that they can get their laminated copies of their DD-214. The only important thing you need to remember, veterans, is to bring a certified copy of your DD-214 if you would like to have it recorded tomorrow. We will do it right there on the spot, and it's a free service. And it's just a way for us to say thank you to our veterans.
Excellent. Number to call if they got to get a hold of you?
It is 525-3930. 525-3930.
And Rick?
Rick?
My number is 645-6504. Can I do a real quick shameless plug?
Sure.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, what I have in front of me is Operation Resurrection, happening right here locally in Columbus and also in Youngstown. They are putting together an actual documentary that is going to eventually help with traumatic brain injury studies here in Central Ohio. With this documentary is going to bring up information and all the outreach and promoting the solutions.
Excellent, excellent. We look forward to that. And look for, we have some great calls come in, and so happy that you were here to answer those questions. I'm sure you're going to get more questions that come in. So once again, thanks for being a part of the program and such a vital thing in our community, working with veterans. And I think they need to be held up here, not just on a particular day, but year round.
Year round.
Definitely year round.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Recorder Hawk.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
and
Rick.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
All right. So before we wrap up, just want to make sure that that you're a part of, come to some celebrations that we're having coming up. We have the Martin Luther King Arts Contest in January. We have the Oratorical Contest in January also. And then our March and Program on celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday on Monday, January 16th. And the Civil Rights Historic Heritage Tour. We're doing that in April 10th through the 14th. Once again, make sure you check us out on Facebook at Nat Bell and Toni Teague, and make sure you like the Columbus Community Relations Commission. Last but not least, watch the CRC family of live programs every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And for the replay, you can also check us out on the website at www.crc.columbus.gov. So I'm Napoleon Bell.
I'm Toni Teague.
And we'd like you to have a great week and take care.